All right guys, welcome back to the channel. I got my friend John. He has created some very incredible contraptions that we're going to try out today, including two of them that are strung from weed whacker line. We are going to try out all these different rackets. We got two of these, one strung at 55 pounds, one hand strung. No tension. We've got this. This is the craziest racket I've ever seen in my life. This is the grip, as you can see.
So what I did here,
look at this,
was I wanted to see how much weight I can put on a racket, you know, without it snapping or anything weird happening. Just to see like how much compression can I possibly get from just modifying the racket. So I actually got car weights. So when you put on a new tire, you have to balance it. You use steel weights. So I put a bunch of these around here. There's about I think it's 4 ounces right here.
Yeah.
And then the racket is like 11.9 or something like that. So it weighs 0.95 pounds.
So it's basically a 1 pound racket. The last racket we have here is this Prince racket, but you spec'd it out to feel exactly like Djokovic's, correct?
Yes, it's 1819. I had to add an extra cross. It has natural gut, strung at the right tension, and also has alley power. I did not go for the rough variant because the rough variant will tear through that string almost immediately.
Well, we'll see what happens. I'm honestly really scared to see what's going to happen with the heavy 1 pound racket, and I really want to see what the hand-strung racket feels like, because those are the craziest ones.
Yeah, a hand-strung, it is going to lose the ball a little bit. Sometimes it's just going to fly. With the 1 pound racket, I have played with it a lot. I would say beware, it's going to feel a lot lighter than it is, so you're going to want to swing right through that.
Which is crazy because it's a 1 pound racket.
Yeah. But it's 20 points headlight, so it has no swing weight.
Yeah. Well, we'll get into hitting and we'll see what happens, because this is about to be the weirdest day of tennis of my life. Oh, and if you want more content like this, make sure to subscribe, because it's very important. Otherwise, you're never going to see these videos. So subscribe right now, and then we'll hit for you guys. All right, the first racket we have is the 1 pound Prince racket with all the weight in the handle. So, wow, that's so weird. All right, 20% ball speed. Here we go. Well, I'll tell you this, it feels oddly heavy, but then right at the point of contact, it doesn't feel, you don't feel the weight of the racket anymore, because all the weight is past you from the handle, which is so weird. Oh, that is a springy racket. It's also a Prince racket, so I mean, that's incredible. I have no idea. That's the first time somebody's ever hit my camera. Incredible, John. Wow, what a weird sensation. It's like literally once the racket head passes, I feel the weight. I don't feel the racket anymore. It's like right at the point, honestly, it's like right at the point of contact where, like in this zone where the racket feels weightless or way lighter. But before that, this way. I don't like how it feels in how my hand feels with the racket though. That's for sure. It feels weird. Yeah, it's also, the grip itself is massive. Yeah, this one just does not feel natural in my hand at all. It feels really bad. Like the weight just doesn't pass correctly and it doesn't pull how I like it. So it just feels horrendous. This way. Okay, I'm gonna give it a rating. On a scale of 1 to 10, it is a 10 out of 10 weirdness. And in terms of feel, it is like a 3. I don't know, it feels not good. And then in terms of, you know, consistency and the way it goes with the stroke is also like a 2 out of 10. So I'm not a fan of the 1 pound racket, but mainly it's because the weight's here, and so when it transfers here, you feel weightless, but then after, it doesn't really have any pull, and so it doesn't feel like how the racket dynamics should work. So I'm gonna switch to a different racket now because I hate this. All right, we got the Joker racket. So this is the Djokovic one, and this already feels so much more natural in my hand. Yeah, this feels like a good racket, except the balls just sail on these things, but it is a Prince, so I mean, I suppose that should be expected. Oh my God, I can't play now. I think the only racket meant for me is the Wilson blade. It feels horrendous. Like, I don't know, this ball's very jumpy on the one-hander. Well, I will say this racket is much better than the 1 pound racket. It just feels like, it feels a lot more, not weird at different parts of the stroke. It all feels the same, which is really nice. Like it feels heavy-ish, but it also feels like silkier, if you know what I'm saying. And that's a good thing. I'd rather have a stroke that feels the same throughout than feeling weightless right before contact and then feeling, you know, heavy after contact. That just didn't feel right. But this feels a lot better in terms of the feel of the racket. So over the feel, I'm gonna give it an 8 or a 7 out of 10. 8 out of 10. I am comparing everything to the Blade 98 V9 16x19, because that's the racket I currently game, and I love that racket. So I'll give it an 8 out of 10 on feel, because I think, you know, if I gave it a 10 out of 10, I feel like really bad about my blade. So now if I could just let it go a little bit more, I feel like I can't let the racket go as much as I can with the blade. So that's not nice. All right, now we got the first weed whacker string. This is the one with 55 pounds tension. And we're gonna hold off the one with hand-strung after this, so just stick around for that one. But let's see what this feels like. The gauge is like a 10 gauge, so that the string is extremely thick. 1.6 millimeters, which is just crazy. I only think in gauges, so I have no idea what 1.6 millimeters means. All right. I will say this doesn't feel like, so it's basically a mix of synthetic, no. It feels like soft, definitely plays like polyester, I guess. I don't really know what polyester plays like, but I'll tell you that it doesn't feel bad. That's the crazy part. I used to play with a gauge that was like 16 gauge for many years, and so 10 gauge, I could dig it. I never had to buy string again, or at least the string would die on the racket before I ever have to get it restrung. So if you're poor, this is great. And the whole 200 feet of reel costs $8, which is pretty interesting. So if you want 400 feet of string, which is a lot of string, that's 10 string jobs, right? It only costs you $16, which is a pretty good setup, I'd say. It's not bad, I'll tell you that. Like honestly, if I played with this racket, I'd have no idea that this weren't tennis strings. And I guess, you know, it's all just chemical is chemical. So what's the difference, right? Whether it's a tennis string or not. It gives a nice spin. It feels soft. So I would say the feel on this string is like I mean, honestly, the feel on this string is very nice. So out of 10, I'm not sure what I would rate it. Man, he almost hit the camera again, crazy. I would give it like, oh dude, I don't know if I should rate it a 10 out of 10. Because if I do, I might ruin the entire string industry if enough people watch this video. So, but dude, it's really soft and it has a really good amount of spin. So I would rate the feel a 10 out of 10. You know what, just screw the string industry. Let's end this whole thing. I'd rate it a 10 out of 10. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, it's really good. Honestly, like it's really good, which is really surprising. This is a 55 pounds, right? So the string sinks in nice and deep too. It doesn't feel like a rock like some rackets do, that tension. And you can hit crazy drop shots. Insanity! That was crazy. Oh, I just brought that back over the net. That was insane. I wish I had the camera the other way. All right, my overall rating on this string, feel 10 out of 10. Spin, it's also like a 10 out of 10 because this has a lot of, it's not like OP power on spin, and that's a good thing because sometimes too much spin is really bad. I feel like it has a good amount of power, and that's probably because of the racket. It just absorbs it really well. It's really soft. I was having tennis elbow the last few weeks, but I've gotten rid of that, and it hasn't caused it in like the couple minutes I've been hitting with it, which is a great thing. And it feels really soft. So now I'm gonna try out this hand-strung one. He just launched it over the fence, so we'll see what happens with me playing with it. Okay, you guys gotta watch. I don't know if you can see, but the whole racket, that's not what I meant to do. The whole racket is like wobbling. It feels like one of those kid rackets, you know, those like 13-inch, 17-inch, 21-inch rackets that they string with the cheapest string possible. That's exactly what this feels and looks like. I should actually, dude, I should put this in. No, I'm too lazy to put in slow motion right now. This feels like a kid's racket. Oh my God, is this weighted differently than your other racket? Is this weighted differently than that racket? This is like no grommets, I don't, because he hand-strung it. So this feels really light. Oh, and the wind resistance on this thing is crazy. Thank you, John. Thank you. All right. Oh, I'm just not gonna swing the racket. Dude, this is a great racket. If you need to teach somebody about wind resistance and like feeling the drag of the racket, this is literally how you do it. Take out the grommets. This thing's wind resistance is insane. This is actually the craziest racket I've ever hit with in my life. Wow. It's not even the fact that like, it's the strings. It's the fact you took the grommets out that makes this, the wind resistance on this thing is incredible. This could be a great training aid for people to feel the racket on the way back and the way forward. Calm down, hit 20%. I still can't, I can't help myself but be a coach. Just zooted that ball. If you shank this, oh my God, you can't, you literally have to hit in the middle. So it's exactly what I thought was gonna happen. Sometimes it's not gonna go, and sometimes it's gonna go. Yeah, if you hit this thing anywhere outside of the sweet spot, the ball just gets launched. And if you hit it in the sweet spot, the ball doesn't go anywhere. So it's really funny. So if you wanna hit it, you gotta hit it out of the sweet spot. Dude, that ball almost went in. Yeah, crazy. The string pattern's insane. Honestly, I'm making more balls than him with a hand-strung racket. Oh, just kidding, I talked too early. Dude, it feels like you're playing, dude, this doesn't even make any sense. It feels like you're playing with one of those foam balls when you hit it in the center, because I don't even feel the ball. I don't even feel the ball at all. That is the craziest thing I've ever felt. This is an incredible training aid. This is how you take a racket. I think, wow, if you want to make a racket feel like one of those kids' rackets, take the grommets out and then put hand-strung strings in there. That's what they most do in China when they make those rackets. Yeah, but if you don't hit it in the center, it just launches the ball. Now I got my swing. Great. Oh, yes, this is a great training aid. You have to literally hit in the center of the racket. Otherwise the ball messes up. And if you hit in the center, the ball doesn't really do anything. It just goes, but it goes in the court and deep. So it's like, if you hit it perfectly, the ball goes in the right spot. And so you know if you're doing it right, if you're hitting the ball perfectly. So, and you really feel the racket. So if you want to train somebody to not like yank the racket, but you just like feel the racket like this, you know, then this is incredible. Not good for feeding, I guess, like that. I hit it too much in the sweet spot. Dude, I now know what Manarino feels like. He has the tension so low to where like he can't, if you hit it perfectly, the ball literally doesn't go long, which is incredible. I don't understand how that works. Wow, let me get some, now I'm starting to feel my swing. I might have to buy this training aid off of him. This is just incredible. Absolutely. No, that one is not, that's not ours. We only have like the new brand one, like that brand new one maybe. I love this racket, it's incredible. Oh, it does notch. Well, that was a lie that we talked about earlier. The hand-strung one definitely doesn't notch though.
This is the first time this has ever been played with an actual player, not a redneck like myself. So this is the only time it's going to notch. So up here, it's starting to develop notches.
So it does get notches. That's pretty. So yeah, so it does notch. But this hand-strung one, which looks like one of those kid rackets that you get for like summer camps, this is an incredible racket. I would buy this. I want to keep hitting with this. I'm starting to actually feel my swing with this racket. I feel like if you hit the ball deep on me, you're screwed. I just do this, and I'll just redirect it with incredible precision, because that's what this racket lets me do for some reason. No, only this racket. The blade doesn't deserve that kind of atrocity. Oh yes, you can't go. Oh my God. No, it was out. No, yes, it was in. Bro, but I'm trying to hit like at least 3 balls in a rally so I can feel something. If you accelerate the racket, that's when it feels bad. So you have to feel, oh, this pause. Oh my God, this is so frustrating. This is at least nice. This doesn't hurt at all. This is fun to do. I can't. Bro. There we go, I got it. Okay, bonus section, we're doing serves real quick. You literally can't get the ball off the ground. I have to do this. No wonder as a kid I did this all the time and never learned that. Can I get a ball? Thank you, sir. I changed my serve stance today. Wow, all those in the net. I guess you really have to be, yeah, this would ruin your serve. This would absolutely ruin it because you have to be so open at contact. Yeah, I was so open at contact to hit that in. Yeah. But when the serve goes in, it's incredible. I'm actually hitting quite big serves, but you can't hear it. That's the funny part. Except that was in the net. Yeah, that was weird. I would not practice serves with this thing. This is horrendous to do that with. Let's get the camera over there. All right, well, that was the crazy racket experiment. I don't even know what I just did, but this hand-strung racket was, honestly, with the grommets out, it's an incredible training aid if you want to feel the wind resistance, because I felt like, you know, if I try to accelerate through the ball, that's when I felt like my swing, the ball wasn't good. But when I just kind of like, right before the ball, I let it kind of pause and then felt it kind of go through in that drag, it was actually, I was hitting really deep balls and it felt like a much better swing. So if you want a great training aid, try this setup out because actually it was really good. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Then you got the Prince racket. I just did not like this racket. Get out of my hands, that was horrendous. That felt awful. I was not a fan of how the weight of the racket changed throughout my hand, like throughout the swing. Because it was like I kind of feel it, and then as I was transitioning, I didn't feel anything. And then after the swing, I felt the racket like slow down, and that just did not feel correct. Like typically if you watch swings, like they get faster after the contact. So that didn't really feel right. This felt, the Djokovic setup with the Prince racket felt actually not bad. It felt like really smooth and silky throughout the whole swing. It felt smooth because it was one swing weight the entire way through, if that's the right terminology. But it never at any point felt like it was accelerating and decelerating or felt weird.
It's very balanced, but also it's the combination of very soft strings with a very soft racket with a lot of weight.
Yeah.
It's where it should feel roughly the same no matter where you hit it on the racket.
Yeah, so this racket was very good. And then I will say, actually, this racket, which is legitimately strung with the weed whacker string at 55 pounds, it's a 10 gauge, and I would honestly, I thought the string played really well. Like, it was very soft, and it absorbed the ball really nicely, even though it was at 55 pounds. It played with a lot of spin, so it'd be curious to see like how long this would last just because it's so thick before it really loses tension. But it honestly was very soft, played with a lot of spin, didn't play slower, didn't play odd, like it felt like my polyester strings that I typically will play with. And I liked it, I enjoyed it. So I would actually, like, somebody strung this up for me like in the last second kind of situation, I would not have any qualms about that. So
It'd only take an hour and a half.
it would take me an hour and a half to string this? Why?
Because the diameter of the string is slightly wider than the grommets.
Oh, so you've got to basically widen the holes every time.
Widen the grommets, yeah.
Yep, that could get dirty.
For reference, the diameter of the grommets is about 1.4, 1.5 millimeters. That's 1.6 millimeters. So you're going to have to awl every single grommet.
Yeah, so I don't have the patience to wait an hour and a half if I'm about to play a match last second. So I guess I wouldn't use this racket because of logistic problems. But I hope you guys liked the video. I probably didn't give the best review, and if I did, then I'd like to thank the tennis review gods for blessing me today with those skills. John, very interesting experiment. I'm very scared to try your future experiments. I'm not gonna lie, they scare me. But yeah, if you like that video, then there's gonna be another one here for you guys to watch that you'll find hopefully entertaining. And make sure to subscribe to get more content, but more importantly, watch the video that's on the screen because I put it there for a reason. So I'll see you over in that one. Yeah, we gotta raise this camera. This mother so tall. Okay, I'm so short. This almost doesn't even work. This is awkwardly high for me. This is all honestly makes me feel very tiny. I'm uncomfortably tiny in this video. This is the thumbnail. Push your thing in the camera, like really close. That's crazy. Yeah, there you go.